HipHopLoverz, it's Robinson again, and today I'm going to be reviewing Man on the Moon by Kid Cudi. Man on the Moon, at the end of the day, is Kid Cudi's debut album. I myself would consider it a classic. It's really what broke Kid Cudi into stardom and mainstream. Now, Man on the Moon is an amazing album because it really changed hip-hop in a couple ways. First of all, it birthed that hip-hop and EDM crossover with songs like Day and Night and Pursuit of Happiness, which were heavily remixed into the EDM community. Even using sounds that were just a lot different and synths that were a lot different in his production that were not traditional in hip-hop. Now the whole album itself actually has some skits and it's narrated by Common, a Chicago MC. Common tells the story of Kid Cudi's character or portrayed character in the album. The story Common tells is the story of Kid Cudi, or Kid Cudi's character, being stuck in hell and fighting for his sanity, losing his mind, feeling as if everything is just going crazy around him. Then, upon taking a psychedelic trip, he actually seems to find his place of peace and happiness. The second track on the album is Soundtrack to My Life, a song where he speaks about family struggles, financial struggles, mental struggles. He speaks about being in this dark place, but just trying to portray as if everything's okay to the world. In this song, he also references wanting to be like Jay-Z, but just not finding that strength in himself just yet. Following Soundtrack to My Life, he comes in with a more upbeat track called Simple As. It's a track that I personally like myself a lot. In this track, he talks about feeling like the underdog, and he also talks about wanting to be a positive influence to the kids and everyone around him, even though he does smoke and drink a lot. Then he follows it up with a song called Solo Dolo. In this song, he speaks about feeling lonely. He speaks about feeling contradicted by feeling wrong every time he's doing the right thing and just really needing some answers in life. But then following that, he comes in with a more uplifting track called Heart of a Lion, which is also called Kid Cudi's theme song. In this song, he speaks about not letting anything hold him back. And even though he feels like he's fighting this spiritual battle where his soul is being fought for, he's continuing and not letting anything drag him in the wrong direction. Following that is My World. In this song, he's speaking to the people who didn't believe in him, to the people who doubted him, and how one day he's gonna kind of laugh in their face once he makes it and goes real big. Now following that is one that I'm sure we all know, called Day and Night. Day and Night is personally the first Kid Cudi song I heard. And I didn't even hear the original track at first. I remember being younger and turning on the radio, and all of a sudden I heard this really poppy EDM-ish, when I didn't even know what EDM was at the time, song on the radio, which was super catchy and just had an awesome vibe to it. Now, Day and Night, personally, is what I feel broke Kid Cudi through to really stardom. It's also a song that I feel that did really well at combining hip-hop and EDM in one, and really birthed that collaboration of sound. Now, though the song is a really poppy song, and it's a song that makes you want to move a little bit, it's actually a very personal song where he speaks about being alone, smoking a lot to cope with things. Now the next song following Day and Night is Sky Might Fall, one of my personal favorites. The reason being, it's a very uplifting track where he speaks about even if the sky may fall, he's not worried at all. It's really good to see him showing that faith, and actually I personally think this is the climax in the album when he begins to break out of that darkness. He begins to break out of that very sad and lonely vibe into a more uplifting and strong feeling. Following Sky Might Fall is Intergalactic. Intergalactic is a really fun song. It's a song where he finally touches on the subject of love, and he does it in a very different manner. In this song, he speaks about experimenting certain substances with his significant other. The song itself is kind of a psychedelic love trip. Following that song is a track called Alive. In this song, he talks about finding himself kind of at night when nobody's around and the moon is shining. Though he's speaking about finding himself, he also touched on the subject of losing himself at the same time. It's like he's finding a new him and losing an old him. And he touched on the subject of wanting to have a girl or wanted to have somebody there who's going to help him not completely lose himself. Then he steps into a really happy song, which is Cudi Zone, which the title says it all. It's about him finding his zone, finding his peaceful, happy, joyful place. This song is really nice. It's one of my personal favorites. Following that, it's a really fun song. It's called Make Her Say. It takes a really fun spin and samples the Poker Face Lady Gaga song. And then he features Common and Kanye West on it. Let's just say the song speaks about having some fun with a lady friend. After that is probably my favorite Kid Cudi song ever. And it's called Pursuit of Happiness. In this song, he portrays this really turned up, kind of faded vibe where he's just in his zone even though he's kind of intoxicated, but it's like that moment where you become intoxicated and you're opening up about everything in a really positive tone. The song itself is a hit. It's been remixed heavily by the EDM community. It's been used in several movies. It's actually probably the main song to the Project X movie. Even the video itself, there's two separate videos. The original one and the Steve Aoki remix, and both of them are great. He features a whole lineup of stars in them and just shows himself having a really good time, which is honestly what the whole song portrays. He closes up the album with Up, Up, and Away, another very uplifting song, which is great to see the album end this way, seeing that it starts at a very sad, very lonely, very kind of lost tone, and then ends up with Up, Up, and Away, which is him just being in a really good place, being really determined, having a lot of faith, doing what he wants, chasing his dreams, chasing his goals, and not caring what anybody says or who judges him. The song was actually used in the Old Mountain Dew commercial. Now, my overall view on this album, like I mentioned at the beginning, I take it as a classic. At a time when I heard it, I was younger, and I really related to a lot of the things said in it. Even listening to it now, I relate to a lot of the things said in it. I enjoy the fact that it took a different perspective on hip-hop. I also really enjoy the fact that it brought the EDM touch to it, and it helped that crossover. Now, I give the album a solid 8 out of 10. There's a few songs in there that just don't hit for me, but it definitely has some classics in it. And the album itself as a project is a staple not only in the hip-hop community, but in the music community itself. It's a piece of art. Now, Kid Cudi has come a long way since then, and we can see it in his music, his different albums. He's gotten into acting and many other things. So shouts out to him, and I look forward to seeing a lot more music by him. Once again, today we reviewed Man on the Moon, The End of Day by Kid Cudi. Make sure to give the album a listen, and also let me know what you think about it. What would you rate it? What do you think about the different tracks and what it did for the music community? Make sure you like the video, leave some comments, subscribe to the channel, and share it so other hip-hop lovers can find it. Until next Tuesday, this has been Hip Hop Lovers by Robinson. Peace.